Good evening, folks. It might be morning where anybody's checking us in. And straight away, Janice is in the chat. Hey, guys. Hey, Janice. We hope all is well. Not expecting a big turnout tonight from our folks here on this side of the pond because Scotland are playing Hungary. They're playing Hungry.
They should have some get a forehand in.
They should have. They're playing Hungary tonight, and everybody's doing the whole thing again with it. Scotland, the face painting and all that, and you're just like, "What are you doing? You know we're getting humped. Come on."
Man, I saw a quality sketch for Burniston the other night, and it was it was a boy who was born with it was a facial birthmark that he was born with. A Scottish guy, and his birthmark was a St George's cross.
God,
it's like
that's a...
he's just walking down the street. Folk are like, "Arsehole!" You know, I love Scotland, but I've got an England flag on my face. It's a bit unfortunate.
Well, tonight we're going to be chatting about another of Arrow's releases. This is a limited edition 4K release, which comes out tomorrow. Basically, tomorrow you can purchase this here crazy cool box set. And again, we're going to chat about the film in a wee while, but the box set looks class, right? If you're floating around, you're going to see that in a shop. You're going to pick it up. Which, by the way, I was in a shop the other day and it was like 3 Blu-rays for $5, right? And I was like, "No way, mate! 3 Blu-rays for $5." No, 3 Blu-rays for £1. Right?
Oh,
this was in among it.
Jesus.
Right? And I was like, who's donating this crap? It's like 3 disc edition. 3 disc edition.
Mental.
That, right? Proper 4K. I thought, these folk that donated it. Do you know what's happened? Somebody's died, and someone that did not care for that person handed their collection in. Let's see a couple of others I picked up, just while we're on the physical media trail here. Last Samurai. I've got it on DVD. Wanted to make sure I had it on the Blu-ray.
It's one of my favourites.
It's phenomenal. Dances with the Wolves.
I'm still to see that. Can you believe that? Right. Never seen it.
Sweeney Todd.
Okay.
Upgrading to the Blu-ray. A lot, like every film here, I've got on DVD. Just updating. One of the finest.
I never got the hype with that one.
Well, by the time I watched it, there was no hype because I just watched it by chance and loved it. And this, which everybody disliked, but I absolutely loved, Project X. It's one of those.
Yeah, like, I think I seen that once and had no desire to see it again.
It's a handheld thing. I absolutely love it, man. So I got all of them for £1. Can you believe that?
That's mad.
It's mental, the state of this world, man. State of this world. So you can.
I like that. Like, somebody's sitting down to a will reading for the guy that's just died, and they're like, "So okay, so this is for you. This is for his son. Who's James? Like James. Thanks for coming in today, James. You're getting his house and his entire estate, except one thing, which is going to your daughter, Janice. You're getting the 3 disc edition of Gladiator. So congratulations."
Yes. So you can go ahead and buy this from basically everywhere. You can go to Amazon. You can go to Arrow's store. And you can just buy it. It's jam-packed, as always, filled with great behind-the-scenes 4K transfer. There's I'm Not a Screamer, an interview with Galen Ross. Galen Ross is Betsy from the film. So
okay.
So there's that. There is that. Before we do so, though, I'm going to play the trailer up next. But J-Mac, have you got a glass handy?
I do.
Raise your glass to one of the greats that we lost this week. The man himself.
Yes.
Donald Sutherland. I always said to myself, I'll be quite gutted when he goes because, I mean, he's
just been in so much. And he's been in some crap, but he's been in a lot of good stuff as well. He's in JFK for about 15 minutes and steals the entire film. But yeah. Absolute legend. He'll be missed sorely by the movie community.
He was in Lockup with Stallone.
I loved that film, by the way. That gets a bad rap.
No, it was excellent. But most people like these days will remember him as Snow from the Hunger Games. But the guy's legacy.
That's unfortunate.
Do you know the way that people look at Christopher Lee? Same way they look at Donald Sutherland. Just an absolute dawn of actors. You know, one of the greats, one of the fine. You know, so it's very very sad that we lost him this week. But comes to us all, right?
Yeah, and he's definitely knowing this film.
Aye, definitely. and to solidify that, I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer for you all.
Now it's time for my story. He was a farmer. He was an evil man. And if he hears you call his name, he'll come for you. And if he comes for you, he'll get you.
I saw something out there. I didn't know you were such a warrior. Why this strange look in your eyes?
How long have they been gone?
Too long, as far as I'm concerned.
Don't worry so much. I'll find him 1, 2, 3.
Come on out. I know you're in there, Richie. Come on out, Richie.
What is it, Bill?
Nothing. Stay in the truck.
One by one, you'll start to fall. 4 nights over, I'll get you all. Don't you realize you're fooling with things beyond your control?
Where's he gone? Anyway, the trailer's good.
Mate, I was thinking to myself, I know exactly what J-Mac's thinking. He's going, this trailer is not like the film.
I'm maybe getting into
that. This film starts off really like funny because I was laughing because the minute it starts, there's a wee guy singing a weird song, which I kind of started to get into eventually, but I was like, oh, okay, right. And then between the dialogue and the song, I basically I watched it on the TV. Wife was next to me reading her magazines or whatever, and she could just hear me. This was me pretty much every 2 minutes. So I'm not sure if that was the desired effect, but there's this came out in what 81, so
yeah.
We could talk about spoilers because it's been a long time. And if you've not seen it, why are you here? And if you are here and you've not seen it, buy it. Support the fine folks at Arrow. You can go ahead and sign up to Arrow Player, $49.99 a year, or spend the equivalent of a coffee, and a cheap coffee at that, because coffees are about £7, right, per month to watch all these absolute bangers. Some of these that we've already reviewed on this show. As you can see, Bleep right there, that's a short film that you need to watch. One of the finest that they have. Basket Case, which was an absolute fucking hoot. Battle Royale, which is a classic. Everybody talks about it. Maniac Cop, need I say more? Get your arses over to arrowplayer.com and start your free trial today.
They don't only have 8 films, by the way. That's just like a wee snapshot. But I know what you mean about that opening scene. It gave me high hopes for what I was going to be in for. I was like, right, this is going to be pure cheesy fun. I'll stop the sentence there for the time being.
The feel that I got when see that the view of that house.
Yeah.
The old farmer, because they all talk like this in this film. But the when you get that visual of that house, it has that psycho feel to it. I get a nice feel from what I see. Visually, it does feel clearly like an 80s, because it is an 80s film. Visually, it really has me like, oh, okay. Yeah, I like this. Yeah.
Yeah. I think visually there were elements of it that were all right. The 80s is, it stands alone when it comes to slasher films and horror films in general. People love 80s horror, and it does tick quite a few of the boxes for what you want from an 80s horror. The visuals being one of them, the cheesiness being another.
Yep.
But for me, there was maybe a box or two that still had to be ticked. But we'll get into that.
Couple of them.
Aye. Torches. On the subject of torches, I don't have one nearby, but I don't know about you. I've never thought this is how you switch a torch on. Lassie, she tries to turn the torch on, she goes, "Oh, it's no working." Doesn't he press a button? Nothing.
Well, there was
Cool.
old torches that you would twist.
Aye, you would twist them. You wouldn't smack them like a baby's arse.
Did she try to twist it though?
Oh, you never see it. She's like, flashlight. Oh, it's fucked.
Aye.
Anyway,
you know-
that's a wee side note.
Well, this film, the premise is that a farmer decided to do in his own family, so the town folks took him, hung him, stabbed him to fuck, but he didn't die. So let's stop it there. Why did he not die?
Well, you could make the same argument
Michael
about Michael Myers and stuff like that, like Jason as well. It's like, why did they not die? You need to skip over that for 80s horror, because there doesn't have to be a good reason why they never just died. They just fucking didn't, and that's why they never died. Or there's some kind of latent evil inside them that just doesn't allow them to be killed.
Well,
But-
it was definitely evil.
Aye. Looked like he smelled evil. But yeah, there's I was a wee bit concerned about the fact that, being such a big fan of 80s horror and horror in general, I'd never heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, why is this not an iconic horror character? The character of Madman Marz. What a stupid name!
Marz. Yeah.
Your name's Wayne Marz.
That's why he killed his family. Lee McMaster.
Hey,
Fellas, how's it going, my man? Hope you're
This-
all good. Hope you're.
this fella's in the midst of packing his house for moving. The house is sold. The house that he bought fell through, so he's homeless now. He's moving in with me for 6 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, I just need to try and not make a party out of it, or my wife will kick me out, and I'll need to fucking move in with him when he does get a house.
That sounds class. It sounds like fun and games, eh?
Yeah,
Aye. So the plot of this is that it's your typical slasher. It's your typical 80s. Somebody's getting done in. Mad guy running about with an axe, and it totally felt like, you know, the what is it?
I've got a wee story to tell that Lee told me the other day, and I'm going to wait for him to confirm whether it's okay to tell it or not before I do it. Proper embarrassing. Like when he told me the story, like he was laughing telling me it, but my arsehole was twitching. I was like, oh my god, I couldn't imagine dealing with something like If he says no, it's going to be really disappointing, but please say yes to let me tell this story, Lee. Let me know.
So did this guy not put you in mind of Victor Crowley
Oh,
for the
aye.
Hatchet film?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think there was maybe inspiration there from Hatchet? Like,
you think?
For Hatchet, yeah. So you
Yeah.
think the person that made Hatchet, Adam Green, do you think that he watched Madman as a kid and went, I'm going to make that but better?
Yeah, maybe he's seen potential in the character or something like that character, but thought I can maybe do this better. I don't think the Hatchet films are particularly good, to be honest, but they are fun. Silly, crazy, stupid fun. Is it Kane Hodder that plays Victor Crowley?
Yes. So it's kind of like a who's who. It's like an almost Expendables of the horror universe. We've got Danielle Harris in it, Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, like the who's who of all the horror cast. It's just a shame the horror film wasn't better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For an Expendables of horror, if only the horror was better. But then should it be? Horror's supposed to be terrible, right?
Well, no, that's the thing. It seems to be a bit of a misconception that even if it's bad, it's a horror film. You can forgive it for being bad. No, you can't. You can forgive it for being like a
Mental.
not award-winning film. Like films can be not nominated for awards, but still make you feel good or make you feel something when you're watching it. I feel like I felt nothing watching this.
I
Like
understand
I didn't care about any of the characters whatsoever. I think it spent too much time with characters that I just found irritating, and it wasn't irritating in a way that, oh, I hope she dies. It wasn't that kind of irritating. It was just, she's fucking annoying.
Did you happen to notice the dubbing?
Did I? What do you think, mate?
There was a point where the lassie's being dragged down the stairs and she's like that. You're hearing, ah! And the lassie's like that. It's like...
literally phoning it in.
I totally forgive that, though. I think it only adds to the charm. I totally forgive it. Adding to the charm, Lee says, go for it. So tell the story, J-Mac.
Lee is, like I said, he's in the Midley moving house, and he's actually in contact, kind of regular contact with the guy that's bought his house. So prior to the moving date, he's let this guy move some stuff in and come in and take measurements for stuff and that to make sure that his stuff's going to fit. Lee had all his stuff unpacked in the bedroom the other day, and the guy was like, can I just go and take some measurements upstairs and he make sure that something fits? And he's like, I need bother. He had left 5 masturbation aids on the bed.
Oh my god.
I know you're talking pocket pussies. You're talking
What?
silicon.
Lee, man,
stuff.
Lee. How bad is it?
5 of them.
5? The fact that you own 5. You never have
Hey.
a fucking cat.
You got to mix it up. But so like the guy's never said anything to him, but he knows that they fucking seen them.
Oh no.
Oh man, like he was so embarrassed. Like not that embarrassed that he didn't phone me immediately to tell me about it.
I left 5 fannies up in my bed. 5 rubber fannies.
But I was like, oh man, that is cringy, man.
I bet you that guy's now like that in Lee's old house. Like, where the fuck's the dungeon door?
Nah. When he moves in, he's going in with a black light.
It's like keeping nothing.
It's going to look like a Vegas hotel room.
Masturbation aids. When you said that, I was like, what even are they? What?
Oh, I kept Disney chocolate.
No way any AIDS, that's what I'm saying, pal. The only AIDS I'll be getting is the one that fucking kill you. Just kidding.
Oh, fuck. Aye. That was
That's mental. Round of applause for Lee. Round of applause for Lee, man. Fucking hell, Lee.
I like.
That's just his luck, man. That's exactly the luck he'd have. He'd forget that he left his wank toys out and sends the boys upstairs to take measurements.
That's
Do
mental,
not
man.
sound clip that.
I like children.
Oh, cheers for that.
I'm only doing as you tell me. Anytime you say
No, you did exactly the opposite of what I told you. Do not sound clip that.
suppose.
See, what I was doing there was an impression of Falcor for the Never-Ending Story, and the fact he's a wee bit creepy with that line. And I just said it, and I was like, he's going to sound clip that. So I said, don't sound clip that.
I like children.
Oh, Jesus. I'm pretty sure this could get us banned.
Probably, we'll find it. Lee says it was when I went upstairs and him and his bird standing with a measuring tape above the bed. It was with his bird. That's even worse. No, she's judging you. I bet. Hey, they've definitely taken their phones out and been like that, sending it to in their WhatsApp groups. Like, J-Mac.
Wait, he's not even thought of that. You've just gave him some serious paranoia.
Wait, J-Mac. If I was in somebody's house and witnessed that, would that not be in our group chat?
Aye.
Million percent would be in our group chat. Lee,
Mate,
you
I think the photos would be on this fucking show if you'd seen them. I don't care if I get banned. Look at this.
Hell to the yeah. Hell to the yeah.
Man.
That's ridiculous. But hey, that's life, Lee. Just take it in your stride, man. Just don't let it ruin your stroke. Ding. Speaking of stroke, a lot of folk get hit with axes in this film.
Yeah.
But there's some creative ways of killing. However, I just found that the kills were like, I don't know, there was something about this film. And by the way, I still encourage everybody to buy it or to go and see it or to watch it on Narrow Player. But there was just, for me, there was something missing from it. You know, like the kills were just very much. Here's my thing. There was like 6 or 7 of them. These all could have done this guy in. Also, what a way to summon a bad guy, right? What a throw at the start with that rock, right? Because this was clearly like football field away.
He threw it right into the next movie set.
And the way he's like, "Take that, Mr. Marz," and the guy's like, "No, Marz, don't come for us. We mean you no harm." It's like,
that'd be you. No, Marz, didn't come for us.
Aye, right. I thought, let's go in, like a bunch of CGs, right? Fucking knock his Marz out, knock him into Marz, you prick. Get this, right? Did you not think, right? So what? They were all camping, aye.
Mm-hmm. It was like a summer camp.
Aye, but they're all wearing business suits and shit. Like, not like if you're going camping, you're wearing stuff you're all right to get dirty, right? Stuff that's no important to you. T-shirts that's just like, that'll be all right if it gets messy, right? They're all smartly dressed, sitting around the campfire. When's that ever a thing?
Well, I think a lot of them worked at the camp as opposed to were camping at the camp. So they were like officials that ran the place, managers and probably Jannies and stuff like that.
Aye.
Lot of it would have been more exciting if they were the killers.
Yeah.
That'd be the ultimate nightmare. Imagine sending your kid away to a summer camp and it turned out everybody that ran it was just out to kill your kid. That's a good horror film.
That's kind of Friday the 13th.
No, actually, he doesn't even run it.
No.
Jason. His mum. Mate, I just made the cardinal mistake. Oh, I can't do this podcast anymore.
You can't do it, man. You're done. Sorry, lads. But what can I say? It's just me now. Pamela Voorhees. She was one of the thingies. And because her wee gargoyle-looking son was drowned, she started killing everybody.
Yeah. Hey, big Kev, what time the orange boxed?
Mind the same, yeah.
I sent that to everybody at my work and claimed it was me that made it. The thing is, I did. I actually turned it into a proper meme, and I sent it to one guy at work. And then when I went in on the Monday, everybody else was showing me, "Hey, you seen this one?" I'm like, I made it.
It's true though. Eh? That was what's his name? Ari Lehman, a young Ari Lehman who portrayed the very, very first Jason.
Yeah.
And since then, he's made a career of calling himself the first Jason. Was he though? He was a gargoyle-looking kid that jumped out of the water at the end. No, really, Jason. Right?
It was either that or Going Britain's Got Talent.
The Joseminator. So
I'm the only one that the caster said is good.
Here's a question for you, J-Mac. I know that. See, Madman, like you've got films that are not necessarily great, but they stand up as iconic from the 80s. Subspecies, the likes, species, critters. Okay, so what do you think it takes for a film to reach that tier, even though that's not necessarily a great shot film or a well-acted film? For example, Friday the 13th was not a well-acted film. If you watch that right now, you're going to be like, you're going to find some issues with the sound, the way they act. Right, that's all there. Kevin Bacon getting stabbed with a pencil through the neck, right?
It was an arrow. Fuck you for taking the piss out of me remembering things badly. Was
it an arrow? Why did I think it was a pencil?
I have no idea, mate. It was definitely an arrow. He's lying in his bed and Jason's mom stabs him.
Back you go! Jason's mom is killing them all.
I'm just gonna hot poo out of here.
Was it an arrow? I always felt like it was a pencil. Do you know why I'm thinking it's a pencil? What's the film where a pencil goes through the hand?
Probably happens in a million films. I'm not sure.
No, there's one specific where a pencil goes through it. But aye. So anyway, when he dies, like even that, it looks funky. You know?
Aye, it doesn't look great, but it probably did at the time. I think what a film like this needs to actually have a lasting appeal is to be fun.
Yeah.
Has to be fun or scary or both. This for me, unfortunately, it was neither. It had all the elements. Like I think that character definitely had potential, which is like you said, maybe why they made Hatchet.
Yeah.
Because it definitely does borrow for that. Like the entire outfit and the weapon of choice. It's all in Hatchet.
Yeah.
But I just feel it just lacked any of the charm that these 80s slashers films actually had. And it's this is just an opinion. No, I'm not saying I'm right. It's just an opinion.
See the hand though. The hand you could see was like decayed, so you could see the bone moving and stuff. The effects on it were really good. The practical effects for its time specifically.
Yeah, so some of the practicals were pretty decent. When you actually seen them, there was so many people that just got fucking dragged away, and you never actually see what happened to them.
Yeah, I think
that annoyed me.
Yeah, I think you either go all out and just don't have the killer be seen, or you show them straight up. The whole now you've seen him, but now you're not seeing him killing anyone, and then now you've seen him again, and then you're not seeing him killing anyone. That kind of was like, what? This makes me think though, it must be like undead, because there's parts of his face that are that you couldn't really sustain life within the body, you know.
He just reminded me of that Australian news program.
No.
Yeah, there was 4 people in the carriage on the ride, and the carriage dislodged, and all 4 received injuries that were incompatible with living. So, oh man, get some media training before you go on the fucking telly. But aye, it's. I lost my point. What was my point, Kevin? What were you just saying?
Well,
I had a point.
I was saying basically that I don't think he's actually fully alive. I think there's maybe some sort
That's what it was. I did have a slight issue with the fact that like this guy's just a farmer who one night went mental, killed his wife and kids, and then the townsfolk kind of tried to kill him and then didn't die. What I couldn't figure out was why he sounded like Bigfoot. Aye, it's like, is that what happened when he got married? Do you take this woman to be a lawfully wedded wife? That's a fucking red flag, by the way. That's a red flag that you get your married and's no quite fucking right upstairs.
Well,
and also, when he was breathing, it sounded like he was wearing a mask, like Michael Myers style.
Yeah.
I noticed that quite a few times. I was like, he's not wearing a mask. Why? Why is he sound like that?
Definitely Victor Crowley definitely has to be paying homage to this fella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be the only way to really keep it in the zeitgeist, unless you are Arrow Video and you bring it back with a 4K release.
Boom. Which is available as of tomorrow, physically everywhere that you can buy physical media. Or you can go and get yourself a monthly subscription for $4.99, which JMac is the price of a what?
A coffee, and a cheap coffee at that, because the coffee costs about £7.
Couldn't I said it better myself?
See, if you pay £7 for a coffee, fuck you. There's no point.
Nah.
The coffee thing's a fad. It's like everybody, like people have always enjoyed coffee, but the like kids drinking coffee is a very, very 2010s onwards phenomenon. Kids don't need to drink coffee. I think about that. Maybe spoke about this last week or the week before. It's silly. Kids walking about with their iced coffees. Is there a sound better than this? Fuck off.
But what's not silly is getting your $4.99 a month subscription and getting all these class films on your Apple, iPhone, They're available on Android. You can watch on your PC. You can use your Fire Stick. Everything. You can watch it. And if you like films that we like, chances are they'll be on the Arrow Player. So $4.99, head over to the Arrow Player and get your subscription today. You get a 2-week free trial. You just go to www.arrow-player.com and smash in your card details. You can get the link for this in the bio. So make sure you do, because there's plenty of films on there to watch, especially the short films as well. I think they're a real charm.
That'd be a great tagline, eh? Like Netflix, plenty there to watch.
Plenty there. There's tons. I always say that I'm a huge lover of physical media, and this is something to really revel at. Look at it. It comes with a wee book. See, the thing is, I'd have to be mad about the film to buy them because I have no space. But the last one we bought was Pandemonium, which I don't know.
Very different, very original. Well done with a small budget.
Totally. I wonder what the budget was on this film.
I imagine it's going to be under $1 million. If it's any more than that, there's.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
Man. I'm gonna give it a wee chuck into the machine, see what they say. Oh, you're correct. So do you know what? Back off, you prick. For the money that they actually spent. Right, I got this wee thing purely for this. Right, I'm going to see if it works. My wife was picking this up for the kids, and I was like, "You can what? I'm going to get one." Right, it's a cool wee thing. You get them on TikTok, but the high streets have started doing them now. Right, so what happens is you just draw on it like an Etch-a-Sketch, but then you press the wee button and it all disappears. Right?
Yeah, I know.
I hope I'm not inverted here. Right, but
you're not inverted. I can read on air in the Goonies behind you.
Class. That's why I think I am. I'm inverted.
Yes, if you're not inverted, that's when it's a problem. Sorry. Yeah.
Right, okay.
That's mirrored.
Right. So you get 2 guesses. Right. How much did this movie cost to make?
$130,000.
Last chance now, J-Mac.
320.
You were so close.
Oh, that
you
was
were
close.
so close, man. You were so close, but no close enough. Yeah. So look at that. When you consider back then, that was a lot more money than what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, if you do the inflation conversion, it's probably closer to $2 million. I would imagine.
Do they get off with it then? Do they?
Do they get off it? No, because I've seen better films made today for less money than that. And saying that, though, it is easier to make films now than it used to be. You've got easier access to the equipment that you need to actually make a film. Fucking hell, we made one.
Well, I don't know. I didn't hate it. But I definitely was like, here, I need a bit more to get me excited, you know?
Yeah.
I needed more to get me into it. But there's a lot of great horrors that you know, that you can enjoy better on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th watch. This one, I mean, I probably will try it again at some point. Here, I've drawn you. Want to see my photograph you?
Go on then.
Bear in mind, it's a rough one. It's just off the bat.
I'm fully expecting it to be a rough one. That's excellent, Banksy.
I am Banksy. I'm a bit of a Banksy.
Wanks.
Imagine. Wanksy. Look at that, man.
What's up with my fucking nose? I know it's not the ears, but Jesus Christ, man. Looks like I've got my face pressed up against a glass window.
Matthew, man, you need to do something with this. That's class. Remember I put the picture of my Terrifier that I drew up, and he turned it into a real thing. Mind
That's
that.
right. I remember
It was
that.
like the Whistler's mother from Mr. Bean. Was it? I think I've actually got a picture printed out of that on my fridge. You know that?
Like one of your kids did it.
Matthewman. I've got a rare Matthewman on my fridge at home. What can I say?
Yeah.
A wee rare Matthewman. Matthewman's not in the night because he's watching the Scotland game. Kegs backward. Ha ha ha. What?
It's maybe meant to be Kev's backwards. I say backwards.
Oh.
He's not backwards to me.
No, maybe I am.
He's just talking about the way he lives his life.
Wee bit. There's still 0-0, by the way. 0-0, so Scotland's in with a chance. Yeah.
Excellent. There was 71 odds on that on Paddy Power.
No wonder.
Should have done it. Did you see? I think it was Tam Cowan on Break the News was talking about it, and he's like, how do you think they're going to do in the Euros? He's like, do you know what? It's like, see if everything just all clicked. So everybody could find their position, work together, it all gelled, and everything just worked perfectly. I think we'd still get pumped.
That's quite funny. That's quite funny.
What we didn't talk about football, man.
I know.
This isn't your bag, baby.
What were your issues with the film?
Like I said, just not caring about any of the characters in it. The one girl in particular, she looked like a cartoon fly, and it just annoyed. Her face just annoyed me through the whole thing. She's the one who, like, her and her man Billy were having a wee bit of busy time in the tent, and Lassie kind of pokes her head through the one, and he's like, don't you ever knock? How the fuck do you knock a tent? How did you knock a tent? But anyway, the Lassie was getting pumped there, and it spent about 15 minutes with her. Spent about 15-20 minutes with her getting chased about very fucking slowly, and her face was just putting me off. That sounds really horrible. She did look like a fly, like a Pixar fly. That's what she looked like. But no, I just thought that, like I said, the dialogue was bad. You never expected to be good with these films, but it was particularly bad. The acting was bad. The dubbing was bad. The makeup had its moments, but there was also times where, like, no, he's got quite fat makeup-y hands. Mm-hmm. Every now and again, it'd be like, he's not going to be able to do that certain thing with that stuff in his hands, so we'll just take it off for that. And you can spot it a mile away, like that, right? That's fine. That's what the makeup on the hand is. But there's times where he's like swinging the axe and stuff. You can see it's just normal hands on there. And again, you need to forgive it. It's low budget, blah blah blah. But even close-ups, like there's the bit where he went to open the car door. I think it was in the trailer actually. He goes to open the car door, and it's just a normal hand. You're like, that's a serious fucking oversight, man.
Continuity.
And like I said, too many people just getting dragged away. You don't see them getting killed. The kills were they weren't particularly creative. I mean, the practical effects wise, some of them were all right, but they weren't creative. They weren't funny or original. I mean, that's one of the reasons we watch these slasher films, is because sometimes the kills are inadvertently funny, like a really dark humor. There was just nothing funny about this, and I think when they tried to make it funny, it just didn't land. Like when she finds a dead body and the guy's had his head cut off, she's like, "Dave, are you hurt?" It's like, fucking he's known. Probably hurt.
Yeah, he's known.
Aye. And half of this film is just people shouting on other people. Like they really don't care if they find them. Dave! Dave! Hello? Dave! Like, they just can't be arsed. It's like listening to the kids that do the voiceovers for the UK version of Paw Patrol, or Neville Longbottom screaming when he's on the broom. Ah! Ah! It's like, oh, fucking get a grip, man. But it does have its merits. Probably. I'll let you discuss them. Do not sound clip that.
Aye. It has charm. I like the feel. Like I wish they spent more time in that house. You know,
Yeah.
they spent a lot of time in it toward the end. I mean, here's another thing: when the lassie at the end gets stabbed through the big hooky bit, right? She gets stabbed on it. He's like across the room, and she picks a knife up and stabs, and it goes into him.
I thought there was a wee problem with the continuity there.
I'm like, he was across the room. He walked away from you.
Elastigirl. I don't know, man.
I love how the fire didn't actually. You didn't see the fire do much. It's just like there was a filter of fire that goes up above the camera like that. It's like, well,
We can't afford to burn stuff down. Not for a fucking $1.5 million equivalent of.
Do you know? No, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't terrible. My wife thought it was. I don't think it was terrible. It just
IMDb scores 5.1, and I think that's fair to generous for it. But it doesn't feel to me like the type of film that would have a lasting effect, and that's clear because I'd never heard of it before, even as a fan of the genre.
Yeah, for sure, Madman. However, when I saw that it was coming up, I went, you know what? That looks class. That's the type of thing I'd love to watch.
Yeah, they've done a good job with the trailer, and don't get me wrong, there will be people that like this. In fact, I think Matthewman liked it.
He said it was of its time, and I'm going to get you Matthewman's wee review up because he sent us a wee review. He said it was of its time, and that I agree. He said, awesome 80s slasher movie, definitely a product of its time, probably a major inspiration for the recent Hatchet movies. Is it a great movie? Nope. Did I have fun watching it? Fuck yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So, I get it. I think he put it very well there when he says that.
Yeah. It just wasn't my cup of tea, you know what I mean?
But you don't drink tea, you prick. It's whiskey.
That's how it wasn't my cup of tea, man. So, like there will be people that like this, and to be fair, like you said, the box set itself is a pretty looking thing, and it's got what films needed back then, especially VHS. It's got an interesting cover. I don't know what the original VHS cover was like actually, if it was similar to that or if it was completely different.
It was different. It was different. I can bring it up in a second once I grab it. So it was a different type of VHS cover. And by the way, that's how you used. Do you know what's funny? I went back to my hometown the other day for a gala yesterday, and while there, I walked in.
I like the way you said that. I went back to my hometown for a gala, like as a regatta gala or something. Going out sailing. You're like, no, you went to Whitburn Gala Day, mate.
That's what it was, a gala to my hometown, right? Because everybody in America, they don't know what that is, so there's no point. But what I will say is this: that I went into my wife's work, my wife's sister's work, which happens to be my old stomping ground of Movie Express, but it's now a salon. And I walked in, and I'm like looking at it with nostalgic eyes, right? And I'm saying to my wife, this is where they used to keep that. This is where all the X rentals were. This is where that was. And I'm saying, here's where I got the very first copy that I owned of Not Another Teen Movie on VHS. And I could buy it because I was young and my mate's sister was going out with the guy that was in charge. So he sold it to me anyway. And I pointed at the exact spot and I just thought, so beautiful, man. Well, this is the type of cover that the film used to have. And that's the type of thing that if you're in a video store, which is, by the way, it's a lost art. I believe this was part of the experience, like watching a film, wasn't it? Just watching a film. It was, we're going to get a film. Oh, I can't wait. It was entering, smelling the smell of it, listening to that sound of the trailers playing. Everybody's having a look at the movies. It was deciding what film you wanted to watch based on the case, based on the artwork, right? That was part of the charm of watching a film. One that's lost now because it's just Netflix, right? But here's what folk in the 80s will have seen.
That looks more like a poster as opposed to a VHS cover.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I'm right. I actually do think the original VHS cover is a bit of the artwork that appeared in the new box set. I don't know if you'll probably be able to see that.
Uh-huh. No, do you know what? I found it. That's also wrong, G-Mac. Right?
Well, excuse me. Oh, excuse the shit out of me.
What is it Lloyd Christmas says? Sorry for no... And then he cries.
What?
I can't remember. Well, there's something Lloyd Christmas says. Well, excuse me for... And then he screams. And I can't get the quote right in my head.
Oh, pardon me, Mr. Perfect.
That's it.
I guess you forgot that you never ever make a mistake.
That's it. Mate, the older I get, the more I'm starting to realise that Dumb and Dumber is probably the greatest comedy film ever.
Perfect comedy. Perfect.
Greatest.
In every way.
And exactly. I think it's just unflawed in so many ways. I have sourced here the original VHS, which, by the way, not only gives away the face of the killer, right, but makes you 100% want to rent it if that's what you're passing on the shelf. That looks terrifying. So that's my wife when she gets up for a pish at night. Joking. So joking.
Oh, fuck.
Look at that, man. That's mental, isn't it?
Yeah. Anybody else see the similarity between that and Hatchet?
Oh, aye. Defo. What's it say there? Available for the first time in the UK, uncut. They thought they were alone. No, they didn't. They knew from the start they were not alone. They literally threw a brick through his window. Oh! And then the other guy's like, please don't. The other guy's like, please don't. At what point were they like, yeah, we're alone?
Oh man, I do think that dubbing old horror films over with Scottish accents could be a quality wee money spinner.
It's probably something that exists on TikTok already. Janice says, we don't have video stores here anymore. Real shame too. Janice, they're away everywhere, mate. They're away everywhere. The new video
we have
stores
one.
on Netflix.
We have one, and it's in Ayr.
Aye.
Yeah, there's a video or a DVD rental shop in Ayr. And I got in touch with him actually to ask him if he fancied doing a wee podcast, and he got back to me and he was like, oh, please don't contact me on this. Please contact me on my personal thing. I was like, nah, sound like a bit of FUD. So
Please don't contact me on my personal thing.
no, please don't contact me through the business page. Please contact me on my personal thing. I was like,
Well, that's not actually that bad. It'd be worse if it was the other way around.
nah, if I could find the message for you, there's a tone in it. I was like, I don't know if I like that tone.
I think folk have tones with you.
Eh?
Folk have tones with you. Mind that lassie we had on before and she called you princess.
Oh, aye, unfollowed like fuck.
She was sound on the show, I know. But then I've seen her proper having a go at you. But that lassie's like, try to have sex with herself every day. So go figure.
Aye. Get in touch with Lee. He's got stuff that can help you.
I was about to say. But aye. So do you know, I'm going to go back and watch this one again. And, you know, if I found this in a shop, I probably would get it because I like how it looks. I like. I mean, you got to appreciate the look at that. The time spent like creating this, you know.
Yeah,
it does look nice. And look, that they thought they were alone. The middle cover, that's actually a bit of a homage to this, isn't it? Look at it.
Also, that VHS cover gives me hope that I might still make it as an actor.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
That was another meme. Meme about the football, and it was like when Scots find out that Scotland have a 0.06% chance of winning the Euros. He's like, so you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah.
I like children.
Oh, there we go again.
Class. We're almost done here on the show, and the Scotland versus Hungary game is almost done. They're into 5 minutes extra time, and no goals have been scored. So, is it penalties?
No, they'll go into extra time,
time, and then
added time. Sorry, no, I think they're in added time. They'll go to extra time. See, fucking hell, I don't even know what offside is. Don't fucking talk to me.
fair dues. But aye, it's looking good. Really happy to be covering these films, and sometimes these films don't always tickle our fancy. Sometimes they shouldn't, and they do, and sometimes they do, and they shouldn't. But
That's
we're
the same
very
thing.
happy. I was waiting to see if you would pick up on that, and you did. So, J-Mac, you get the thumbs up. So, yeah, we're very happy to be covering it. I'm still very happy that we did. Again, goodbye to the man himself. Never met him, never really knew him, but his work was really class. So, shout out to Donald Sutherland. We tomorrow will be together because we're going to go to a guest screening of The Bench by Ryan Hendrick, who was on this show before. He made a film called Mercy Falls and Lost at Christmas. So you need to go and check those out. But also, stay tuned because we're going to make a wee video blog tomorrow. A wee something.
I think we'll try and do something if we're allowed. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, we can date right up to the venue, and then I said to Ryan, and he was like, it was cool, so all good. So we're invited along to that to go and watch this in the Cineworld in Glasgow. So we'll do that. If anybody's around that watches this show, jump
Janice.
in and hat. I know, Janice, how cool would that be? But come say hi, come chat to us. We love to chat to you. So support Ryan Hendrick and all the fine work he does. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It does look like a hoot, so that'll be class. And it's good for us to get together with Matthewman. That'll be the first time you and Matthewman have been physically together since she's went on holiday together, right?
Pretty much, aye.
So that'll be good. That'll be good.
I still remember that. Mate, I think I've just seen you. Oh, I doubt it. I'm in Lanzarote.
I know, right? Craziest of things. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be again live next week. Got more cool stuff coming up. The fella from Cocaine Crabs for Outer Space, his wife contacted us.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a wee interview with him. That'll be excellent. See what's coming up next. Janice, I wish you were over here, pal. One day. So we might have them on. Ken Shamrock's manager got back to me again, then probably has ghosted me again.
I just seen that. I was like, when the fuck did you reach out to Ken Shamrock?
Ages ago. Maybe we'd have a great conversation with him. I know everything in his wrestling career. That would be excellent.
Yeah. I could sit there going, cool.
And he was in UFC.
Sorry, I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, he was in UFC, but he also was in WWF way back.
I know him as a fighter, not a proper fighter.
So that would be a great conversation. Two aspects of it, a proper fighter. I mean, you're right. UFC is like real fighting, but most of the guys from UFC would never last in WWE because they're not tough. You know what I mean? Like they can fight once a year, but they can't like 6 nights a week on the road, taking bumps, paying their dues, and that. They're not made it for that stuff. Ask Ronda Rousey.
I don't really know her, mate. I've got a pal that knows her, but I'll give him a shout and see if he can ask her.
She's wrote a book about it, so you can just read that shit.
Oh, this is me running out to get it.
Me and all. I think that the game's still going. So thank you everybody for tuning in. These are absolute legends. These are tuning in when there's a really important game going on in the Euros right now. These are tuning in when it's a Sunday night. So we appreciate you. If we can ask one more favour, man, just like and share this, man. Tell your pals. Nah, I'm all joking. You didn't have to. If you liked it, do that. Tell your friends about it. If not, Dinny, it's cool. But do go to www.arrow-player.com. Sign up, man. It's a coffee. Sign up, right? Take your 2 weeks free trial. If you're no into it, fine. But I guarantee you will be. I'll bet you, right? I'll bet you. So do that, please, and support these fine folks for giving us a class array of films that might have been lost in the ether. Think about that. There are films out there that existed on VHS that people have seen that will never be seen again because they're gone. Right. Well, let's support the guys like Arrow and Shudder and all that, but specifically Arrow. So get your asses over there, subscribe to their platform and watch the shit out of that. J-Mac, anything you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, just thanks for watching and all that. And yeah, we'll see you next week, and we'll let you know how we get on tomorrow with our wee event that we are guests for on the guest list. On the fucking guest list, by the way.
Cool as shit, I guess that's wankers.
A wee film called The Bench. Let's go see it.
Let's go see The Bench. Aye. Aye. So looking forward to that. So if you're there, see us tomorrow. If not, we'll see you Sunday. We'll have some footage for you to see on the next episode. Oh, Hungry have scored.
And on that note, it's time to end the show.
See you later.
Bye. It's a fucking pointing nose hair. Look at that. That's all, folks.